lights are on because it's race time. And we are underway here for the fourth round of the championship. Very precarious here. Into turn number one they come along. And well, is there going to be any contact? Gary Nolden's under threat from Gunnar Nienhouse as the inside does the Carbon Racing man into the second chicane, the Variante della Roggia. And well, he's got that one sorted. But 1, 2, 3 wide! Down the front straightaway, almost 4 wide. Fantastic bit of battling going on here. It's just that Liam Robinson trying to make it go 3 wide down the front straightaway. Phil Reed, half a lap of battling, you betcha. But Michael Mner spears it off wide to Cash. Now running himself through the left-hander, but he's got it wrong. He spun it wide.
Through the first chicane, he spins around. Norden from third position. Spin completely onto the grass there.
Liam Robinson here in fourth position. He gets it horribly wrong, and he's going to spin it sideways with 4 to go. His name is Gunnar Nienhouse. He becomes a Dutchman winning at Monza, and he does it in style. 3 different winners in 4. Welcome back, 1-0 then, to the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 series here. This is Season 1, round number 5 here, and we've decided to go to America for the first time in this series. We're here at Road Atlanta, the notorious Road Atlanta, known for one corner and one corner only, and that is turn number 5 up the hill. It's caused so many incidents. Jake Sparey in the commentary box here, joined by everyone's favourite commentator, it's Fisi.
Thank you, Jake, and hello again, everyone, here at the Road Atlanta. It's going to be another interesting race here for you today, I'm pretty sure. Not one of my personal favourite circuits, but certainly one that provides a lot of challenges for the drivers and has caused some good races in the past, so hopefully this will be another one.
Yes, and last time out, Gunnar Nienhouse won in dominant fashion. Lights to flag from him. He won after an overtake in the first corner. Renault 2.0 getting his first podium finish in second, with Phil Reed going up from 12th to 3rd in that race. And, well, if he can do something the same again, it would be good. Unfortunately, though, he's not here trying to do a James Hunt in retrospect. But enough about him. It's time to move on to your qualifying grid. It's been another close qualifying once again, and well, for the second time this season, Christian Takash will line his car up on pole position on a 1:18.296. He'll be joined on the front row by Gunnar Nienhouse of Carbon Racing. Yet another second place qualification from him, and I think he hasn't actually qualified off the front row so far this season. It's an all-Austrian second row with Michael Mittner's LM Rennsport car and the brand new car of Christian A. Koch there, the second of the team players' machines. He'll be joined with row 3 being Jean-Francois Godin, his teammate, and Bruno Dometer. Very good qualifying from him on a circuit he loves. He qualifies 6th. Evan Imre with a fantastic qualifying by his standards. He will qualify 7th for Team Tortoise. He will be joined by René Osterkamp, the German for Hydroforce Racing, with row 5, an all-British affair, the championship leader, Andy Cowie, and Kerry Nolden of Aperture Motorsport, the Season 1 Pro Mazda champion. Robert Plumley's had a fantastic qualifying by his standards. He drags his Kindushi racing car up to 11th, joined on row 6 by Knut Martinsen in the Force Fizzing machine. Johansson Leister will round off row number 7 with Patrick Kessler there, 15th, the second of the LM racing cars. He'll be joined by Janik Nienhouse, the second of the Nienhouse brothers. MDAR Racing, my dogs are hungry. Luke White there, he will qualify 17th. Top 17 split by a second with Alexander Van Rompuy of Avid Chronic Racing making his triumphant return to the league after an absence, but with row 10, Ty McLeod and Richard Grimley. And well, we have a full grid for the first time this season. All 30 drivers are here. Liam Robinson surprisingly down the order there in 21st, joined by the second of the Conducci cars, Vittorio Sotalamacchia. Lionel Alberto and James Goodall round out row 12. Jamie Colden there, back with Nigel Spears, surprisingly down the order. Tom Van Humen, he's 4 seconds off the pace. 3 cars not setting a time. Chris Robinson, Steve Kagerer, and Ben Scott. Welcome to the grid, everyone. Yeah, you can see the cars lining up underneath the Yokohama Advan Bridge. Lights are on. Of course, you can see them all filing around the final corner there, trying to get ready. And we, for 44 laps, are going to be underway here at Road Atlanta. Poor start for Jean-Francois Godin. Everyone's seeming to get away good. And it's Christian Takash with a fantastic start there. He will beat Gunnar Nienhouse into turn number 1. Well, the answer to that one's yes. And they will file along single file 2 wide behind. as they head up now towards turns 2 and now turn number 3, the difficult right-hander. And then you can see Christian Takash getting up and over the curb, and that will be advantage. Gunnar Nienhuis, who will take that position very, very comfortably there, Fizzy. Christian Takash losing out 44 laps. It's a short lap around here, and this will be very difficult, especially this corner, turn number 5.
Yeah, flying start from Nienhuis, taking the lead after Takash got very hard on the turn 3 curb, which is one of the most tricky corners on the circuit. We got Mner defending now into turn 6, and then turn 7, the slowest corner on the circuit. Second gear from Jean-Francois Godin, the former championship leader. Now it's Mner's teammate Andy Cowie, who's currently down in 8th position, that is leading the championship into this race. And let us see if Godin can get a slipstream going down the straight. This is the best overtaking opportunity on the whole circuit, to long straight. And we got a battle for the lead as well. Takash trying to retake that position from Nienhuis, going into the 10A, 10B chicane here to end the lap. Godin also making a move on Mner there, Jake.
Oh yes, and there's René Osterkamp doing a complete 180 there, down into turn 10A. He'll have to wait for the entirety of the field to get back round for him to get going again. But now looking at Bruno Dometer, hectic opening lap. And well, for Dometer there in 7th, he has lost 1 position on circuit, and he will have to work incredibly hard to get that one back, as we look at Christian Koch now, having a battle with Evan Imre, who got a flyer of a start once again. And Christian Koch there on his debut here, trying to do well. Now Imre under threat then from Bruno Dometer, but already you can see just how important this race means to everyone, as Bruno Dometer now heads himself up through the S's and into turn number 5. The notorious turn number 5. Drivers such as Justin Brunner has put themselves off in that left-hand barrier before, and well, you can see just how defensive he's going to go. He's going to go all the way to the inside for turn number 6, and well, Evan Imre will hold on for now, but this will only allow Fizzy Andy Cowie to get back into the fray.
Yeah, he will indeed. It's going to be a bit of a train potentially forming with these guys battling. We got the debutant, of course, Christian A. Koch, running in 5th place just ahead of him. And Takash seemingly still holding out on in front. But can Dometer and Cowie get a double slipstream from Imre down towards the chicane? Imre's going to go defensive here now from Dometer, who's dropped a position from his starting position, with Imre moving up, and he goes just slightly deep there through the chicane. Dometer might get a cutback on the exit, the better run up the hill over the crest, and he takes the inside for the flat out final corner, Jake, to take 6th place in the race.
Yes, he is, and they're 3 wide. McLeod, they're getting involved in contact with, I believe, Jannik Nienhuis. They're both around second bit of contact, and well, they're all going to have to try and file it in nicely, because that is not ideal. There into the pit lane goes Jannik Nienhuis, of course, a very difficult pit entry there. And well, it's not gone well for N Racing, but Christian Takash, fastest lap 1:19.1. And now Gunnar Nienhuis wants a piece of the action. It's a breakaway 4 at the front right now, as they head themselves up towards turn number 6 once again. Takash leads, Nienhuis 2nd, Godin 3rd, Mner 4th, Christian A. Koch. They're in 5th position at the moment as they head down in. There's contact between the two, and round goes Christian Takash. He holds it, but this is only going to allow them to go quicker. Nienhuis, with a rare mistake, he bumps Christian Takash down to the back of the field, but now Jean-Francois Godin needs to find his way through. Can he do it? Down to the inside then. He will come along for 10A, 10B, and can he get the move sorted already? Answer to that one is yes. So it is Godin who's going to take the lead, but Mner is going to try and pounce into the right, and then the left. Well, left and right, even as I get my left and right mixed up. Nienhuis holds on, but what a bit of racing that was, Fizzy.
Yeah, great racing, and opportunistic from Godin to suddenly move into the lead, as Nienhuis is forced to go defensive once again into turn 1 to start lap 4. Takash trying to get back into it, but he lifts off to not get, put himself in danger through the corner with the 2 guys ahead battling. But yeah, a very uncharacteristic mistake from Nienhuis to go into the back slightly of Takash through turn 7. It was, as we see, Luke White off into the barrier there to end his race, potentially. But yeah, Nienhuis just touching the back of the catch and sending him around, unfortunately, for the Norwegian. Hard to say whether that was a case of Nienhuis braking too late or Takash braking too early, or probably maybe a mix of both, but either way, Nienhuis is the car behind, so kind of responsible to not hit into anyone's rear wing. But yeah, unfortunate, of course, for Takash, but at least he's still in the mix.
Yes, he is, and Luke White there with an instant there, not ideal for him, but Jean-Francois Godin was 1 second ahead of Gunnar Nienhuis over the line, but now look at them. They're right back together. Just shows what is going on then for Gunnar Nienhuis. That doesn't seem ideal for Godin, who's been quick, and there you can see through goes Gunnar Nienhuis very, very comfortably down that front straightaway. And for Jean-Francois Godin, that is not ideal. He'll lose the position once again to Gunnar Nienhuis, who is incredibly quick once again. And you have to argue he is one of the most unluckiest drivers in this league. You can see Jean-Francois Godin fighting that car in order to get back into position. Of course, Michael Mner will be the next thing he'll have to worry about. Can he get him back into turn number 1? The answer to that one is no, they won't go side by side. But Nienhuis with a 1:18.7 dominates a fastest lap. And now you can see Michael Mner actually getting himself into perspective, trying to run a move here into turn number 3. And well, he will just have to wait as we look back here, Fisi, to Andy Cowie.
Yeah, what he spins into the wall does Andy Cowie, the championship leader. That is huge for the championship right now. That is a big hit with the wall. Surely that's going to be raced over, and it does retire back to the pits, the championship leader. So that's going to give everyone else now an opportunity to, to retake that championship lead. Godin, his teammate of this man, Christian Koch, in second place in the championship, getting a good opportunity to retake that, as Coldham now at the back of the field spins around. Oh, and then is joined by James Goodall, who basically repeats him. But Mner, Godin might lose another position there, because here comes Michael Mner.
Yes, here comes Michael Mner then through on Jean-Francois Godin, is it? Well, you can see the overspeed that he's got, and Jean-Francois Godin cannot do anything about it. He will lose time once again. You can see that gap in just one lap. I think there might just be some form of damage somewhere on Jean-Francois Godin's team players machine. This seems very uncharacteristic for him, but what has to be said with a championship leader, it is not ideal for him, and this opens the door to 5, 6, 7, 8 different drivers to all jump themselves up. And something that we didn't mention, or well, we did mention at the very top of the broadcast, Phil Reed not here as we look at his teammate Kerry Norden, and that will mean that he'll have to use the second of his 2 drop weeks. Of course, with the DNF that he had at Spa-Francorchamps now, Kerry Norden trying to chase down Bruno Dometer here in the TDT Motorsports to cut back to Lee N. Robinson, getting it horribly wrong as he heads towards the S's, and he will now find himself in the middle of nowhere there, in the grass, into Narnia he goes. And well, for Lee N. Robinson, he's got to do something better as we look here at Robert Plumley.
Yep, he's currently running very high up in 9th, considering where he usually finishes. That's a very solid race from him so far. We're watching now Michael Mner. Good to see him back on the pace, because Mner's not had a podium finish so far this season. In fact, his best finish this season has been 6th place. He's had 2 6th places and 2 7th places. So he's looking very good there. To catch, though, might be under pressure from Godin's new teammate, A. Koch, into the chicane. He takes the inside line. Takash doesn't fight it too hard. Koch up to 4th position there, now chasing after his teammate. And yeah, I think you're right, Jake, that it might be some kind of damage to Godin's machine, because he's really dropped off the pace last couple of laps. And the same has to be said for the catch, to be honest, because he was, of course, leading to pole position. But he's been on the back foot ever since that contact with Nienhuis. He's dropped another position with Dometer going up the inside, but then he goes off the track. So Takash getting that back. But oh, who's that? That's Kerry Nolan suddenly steaming up the inside into turn 3 to take 5th place. Very opportunistic from him.
Kerry Norden with a Phil Reed sort of drive. He's up 5 positions now from where he originally qualified in 10th position. So now, looking at this, Robert Plumley here in 9th position on circuit. We're going to cut away to lap number 9 here as Kerry Norden looking at the back of Christian A. Koch, the 2 team players cards. Of course, news of a buyout from Hydroforce Racing for the grand total of $1 Canadian. And that will be something to note there as Hydroforce look to build to be a bigger team. Looking now at Christoph Leister here, getting a big slide actually through turn number 7. And he'll have to 180 himself round, because that was not ideal. Norden now on the back of Christian Koch. Can he get the move down in? Well, they're going to go 2 wide. They could go 3 wide. No, only 2 wide. And he's going to box stuff in. No, he decides to back out of it. Very wise decision from Aperture Motorsport car there of Kerry Norden. As Martinsen now looking to have a little fight here with Alexander Van Rompuy of Avid Chronic Racing. Daddy inside, he forces himself through. Alexander Van Rompuy, they're going to remain side by side as they head towards turn number 1. Well, this is the final corner they head along. And now they're going to be side by side for turn number 1, Fizzy. And well, for Martinsen, he's really got to work hard for this one, because here comes Alexander Van Rompuy. Danny inside remains side by side. This is fantastic battling, it is. Half a lap of word contact! Oh my word! Both of them going around. Not ideal at all. They both keep it going, but that was a mistake that nobody wanted to see.
Yeah, that was great racing from them, first of all, for going side by side for so many corners, and none of them really finding an advantage. But then it was still side by side up the hill there towards the tricky turn 2 and 3, and then I don't know, it looks like their lines just merged a little bit. Martinsen kind of moving slightly to the right at the same time as Rompa moving slightly to the left. I think that's probably going to be put down as a racing incident, but yeah, obviously both of them losing quite a few seconds there. Not too many positions though, because it's been kind of a bit spreading out behind them as well. But now, Jake, we've got team players side by side.
Yes, we do. Christian Koch trying to go to the inside on his teammate, Jean-Francois Godin. Makes the move look very easy, and now Godin's going to have to fight. And there's a bit of a mistake, actually, on exit, and that's going to allow Kerry Norden and Jean-Francois Godin to pounce. Koch with an incident there, murdering himself just a little bit wide, and that's what's caused him to drop 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. And now Kerry Norden looking to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Into turn number 1, and he makes it look very comfortable there, Fisi. He gets through up into a podium position. And, well, now it's all about Christian Koch trying to get through on his damaged teammate. It doesn't look very visible from my end, so it might be an engine issue, actually, which is plaguing a couple of drivers here. Of course, it is a hot circuit around here today, and, well, Christian Koch is going to have to try and do everything to make sure he keeps up with Kerry Norden.
Yeah, it's hard to say what is plaguing Godin right now. It's because we don't have all the telemetry and all the details up here in the commentary box, of course. But certainly, what we know is that it's been dropping off the pace. The top 2 have really broken away. Nienhuis and Mner way out in front now, and Kerry Norden currently with a bit of a tribute to his teammate Phil Reed, who's not here, with his drive so far in this race, gaining a lot of positions off the start. That's been Phil Reed's thing so far this season. And we're going to have team players side by side once again. This time Koch is going to be well on the inside line into the chicane. Maybe he can get through this time without making a mistake. And he does seem to have that position quite comfortably this time into 4th position. Maybe remains to be seen, of course. He's a new guy in the league. We don't know quite how fast he is yet, but so far done a very, very solid job. And that team players team is looking very, very strong right now.
Oh, yes, it is. And, well, saying about Christian Koch, this track, Road Atlanta, has been known to throw out quite a few things with debuts. Of course, who can forget Jake Beckett actually getting a 3rd place finish here on his first and only race as well. He's done very well. There's been very few drivers to get a podium on their debut race. I think Rico Alatalo is another driver who comes to ride right at the very beginning, but Kerry Norden there, you can see already he's got about a second and a half in the space of 2 laps. Just shows just how damaged he is as we cut out now to lap 15. Nienhuis, 1:18.5, fastest lap. He's looking to put the hammer down as we look at Christian Takash here behind Jean-Francois Godin. These 2 both with a little bit of damage to their name, so both of them trying to salvage as many points as possible. And for Christian Takash, this has not been an ideal start for him, especially after being the pole sitter.
Yeah, it is indeed. And, well, both of these guys on the back foot, but they seem to be on equal pace with each other at least. So hopefully these guys can have a bit of a battle now. Takash closing up to the back of him as they are now going to head into turn 7 and onto the back straight. Turn 7 was, as I mentioned, the slowest corner on the track, but also potentially the most important one because it gives you that run down this whole straight, which you're on for like 20-ish seconds. And Takash now getting that slipstream, which you really want. That's why you want to be close to the car ahead, going onto the straight and get a good exit. Takash, can he pull to the inside into the chicane? We've seen many moves here so far in the race, and Takash, another good move there from him, getting a position after being on the back foot. And we're now looking at Saltalamakia down in 20th place, the final points position, and he goes round. Slight contact with the barrier there. Might be some slight damage, but he manages to reverse it and get it going again. So, well, it's an interesting field so far in the race. Imre and Plumley, shout out for them, still running well inside the top 10. So on course for their PB results of the season.
Oh, yes, of course. And don't forget René Osterkamp. Remember, he had an instant lap number 1. He fell all the way to the back of the field, 30th out of 30. Now he's climbed up half the field. He's up into 15th position at the moment, chased Ali and Romson. But this is Jean-Francois Godin, the 99er team player, sporting Jorge Lorenzo numbers, as he looks to try and chase down Christian Takash in the 89 Red Devolution machine. 2 very good teams that have been mainstay names in the AOR leagues at the moment. And well, for Takash, he's going to have to try and do everything he can to break away at the moment, catch back to the other team player's car of Christian A. Koch at the moment. But for just a moment, everything has seemed to calm down around Road Atlanta here. And just to give you an update here on your driver's standings at the moment, well, not driver's standings, but the race standings at the moment, The in-house leads. Michael Mner second. Kerry Norden there in third position. Christian Koch in fourth. Takash fifth. Godin in sixth. Bruno Dom seventh. Imre eighth. Plumley ninth. And Alexander Van Rompuy in 10th. Just passing the back marker of Salamakia there are these two as they head themselves on to lap number 17 of them. Moving on to lap 19 here, Fizzy. This is Patrick Kessler with Kerry Norden setting purple laps.
Yes, Norden back with the fastest lap, and that's going to be good for him, of course, with the bonus point that comes with that. But Kessler a little bit out of shape now, going through the S's, down towards the very tricky turn 5. And Martinsen getting very close to the back of him there. I don't know whether that was him braking a little bit too late, just missing his point a little bit, or if Kessler once again just caught him out a little bit with his braking. But he's going to be put under pressure now from the other Scandinavian of Fredrik Johansson, the Swede, against the Norwegian. And Johansson just being forced to stay behind for now, but he's going to have a fabulous slipstream down the back straight again. Martinsen's going to be under pressure. Does his drop too far off Kessler with that little mistake to get the slipstream from him. So Johansson with the advantage, but Martinsen's going to defend this. And it's a battle for 12th place in the race right now. Johansson getting the better run towards the chicane. Can Martinsen break later and keep the inside line? No, he cannot. Beautiful move from Johansson, holding it around the outside. And he's up to 12th place right now.
Oh, good move there from Fredrik Johansson. Capitalised on the mistake there as we look here at Kerry Norden here. And, oh, he's got it wrong. The car in third place. Kerry Norden, 180 around. Not ideal. He'll lose out on his podium position, and well, he drops 1, 2, 3 places down the field, possibly 4 with Bruno Domsa coming along. Uncharacteristic mistake, but what has to be said, Kerry Norden has made this a habit. In the past few weeks, he's had a spin at least once in the last 3 races that he has been in. Of course, those last 3 races being Phillip Island from 2nd place, Monza from 3rd, and then again, Road Lance from 3rd. So for Kerry Norden, Fizzy, he just needs to find some form again because he's really not in the right position here to be keeping consistent throughout an entire race.
Yeah, it's unusual really to see, considering how strong a driver he is historically in this league as well. Yeah, as you mentioned, he's had a big mistake in all of the last 3 races. There's nothing wrong with his pace right now. He actually goes in the pit lane for one of the earlier pit stops we've seen here today. Obviously, mandatory pit stop for fuel in this league. But yeah, Norden, he's had a pace, but not the consistency so far this season, and that is something he really needs to work on. Once again, losing out with that spin. Martinsen trying to get back at Johansson, but cannot do it on this occasion. Although then Johansson runs onto the grass, and Martinsen's going to be gifted that instead. Johansson then also going into the pits like Norden did before him. So, well, early pitters starting now. Hopefully for them, they will not get caught up in traffic. That is the last thing Norden needs right now. I think his thought with the early pit stop is probably to try and jump those guys that he lost out to, because he knows he has the pace on them. But yeah, that spin will not have helped.
Oh, definitely not. Looking here at Robert Plumley trying to close down on the Scotsman, the 999 machine of Evan Imre, in what is one of his most fantastic races to date right now in 7th. He hasn't moved, but Robert Plumley is up 3 positions in the 147 machine. And well, normally we'd see this battle down in the top 20. Let's see it in the top 10 this time by the pit stop window well and truly open. So it will be a question of who will come in when. Of course, 44 laps, and well, pit stop window anything from lap 21 to about lap 30, I think we can safely say. As we look at Kerry Norden, that's just how much the pit stops affected him. He is behind the car of Lee N. Robinson right now here in the battle for 13th position retrospect. Down along back straightaway in towards 10A. Big depression coming up when you brake, which makes it just a little bit more difficult. Norden down on the brakes on Leanne Robinson, and well, he makes it look very easy on the former AOR Red driver.
Yep, these guys, former sister teammates. Actually, no, they were not, because Norden didn't race in Season 5. That was the season he took a break in, while Robinson was in that AOR team. Robinson might get a look back on Norden now through Turn 1, but yeah, Norden now just has to keep it steady. He's got a little bit of clean air ahead of him. Just need to refine his rhythm now, and hopefully for him, he will have jumped a few cars. So we see Osterkamp, was that, I believe, running ahead of him as well in 12th position. So he's on his way to working himself back off the field after his lap 1 incident. A little bit unusual as well to see Robinson outside the top 10, because he's been well inside it this season so far. All of his 4 finishes has been in the top 10. This time he qualified 21st, so it's still been a reasonably solid race from him so far, but yeah, a little bit worse than normal.
Oh, well, as you say that, there goes Kerry Norden. He hits the wall, and they can see the damage on his rear wing. That is a really uncharacteristic mistake. The red mist surely descends, and now this is a survival mission for Kerry Norden now. He has to think the podium's gone, the top 5's gone, as Takash comes into pit lane. This is not ideal at all, and well, with Patrick Kessler coming in now for his pit stop, Kerry Norden in all sorts of trouble for Aperture Motorsport here. And well, you have to say, you cannot predict this league at all, especially this race, because there's so much going on. Everyone's got to try and keep it on track, and there's so much drama and damage, Fisi, that you just don't know who is going to go next.
Yeah, as you said, that Plumley really hard on that curb in turn 5 as well, really pushing his luck. That's been one of the most tricky corners. And Road Atlanta, you got to say, usually a race of attrition as well. We've seen it in past seasons with the Star Master car, and it's proving to be the case once again in the new Formula Renault 2.0 as well. So Norden, and again through turn 5 he goes spinning, this time not hitting the wall. But Norden, I think that damage now is really costing him on the rear wing, just making his car a bit more unstable. And well, this is really putting a dent in his championship hopes. It's looking like he might have to use his second drop week here, just like his teammate has used both of his drop weeks now. Norden might just do the same with this poor race.
This is so uncharacteristic for such a fantastic driver. A fall from grace, you could call it here, as we look at Lee N. Robinson chasing down Christian Takash ahead of him at the moment. Still yet to make a pit stop, I believe, there is Lee N. Robinson, normally one of the last guys to come in, as we look here at Kerry Norden once again with the battered rear wing. And well, he's going to try and flick it through turn 3. No, he's not. He's going to go around for a 4th time. Hits the wall again, and that one might be the one where he calls it quits. And the answer to that one is yes. Kerry Norden is out here at Road Atlanta. Here's Bruno Domter actually having a little tussle with Evan Imre there. A little bit of lap traffic ahead of them. I believe that's Tom Van Humen. And well, that's only going to help Evan Imre down the straightaway. Dometer, of course, had one of his best finishes here. 4th place in the Pro Mazda. His 2nd ever best finish along this circuit. And here we go. Down to the inside. He'll come along under through the slipstream. Can he make this move look very comfortable? Answer to that one is very much so. And Bruno Dometer will take that position very comfortably away from Evan Imre as we look here at Gunnar Nienhaus, your race leader right now. And oh, he gets a little bit over the curb and he's going to spin it. Race leader spins it round, contact there with, I believe, Nigel Spears, I do believe. And well, he's going to actually lose the lead to Michael Mner. So, game changer. Nienhaus, once again, with a mistake from the race lead. And Michael Mner, who had a poor race about last time out at Monza, looking for redemption, now with the race lead.
Wow, that is also a huge moment for this race. Nienhaus now a couple of seconds behind Mner. You know, he's still in it, but I think there was slight contact, as you said, with that North Atlantic racing driver, as Dometer also gets caught up at turn 5. He gets passed by Imre, who has to go on the grass, and so does Plumley. Well avoided by those guys to not hit into the back of Dometer. Imre is going to be having Plumley all over him, but yeah, for the race lead, Michael Mner taking it. It's literally, you don't know where the championships are going to go, because everyone is making mistakes, and you know, we've had 3 different winners so far this season, and on course for 4 right now, with Mner leading. So this is just really exciting to see how this is going to shake out.
Yes, definitely, and give massive credits to the number 7 machine of Christian Koch as well. On his debut, he is up in a podium position at the moment, and he looks like he won't leave there anytime soon. Looking here at this battle then, for 7th position, Imre and Plumley at the moment. Here as they head themselves through the final corner, lap number 26 of 44, just a little under halfway to go. And well, for Evan Imre, he is up in a career best position at the moment of 6th position. Here is Plumley though, right behind him, shades of Season 4 AOR Pro Mazda coming back to life, back when dynamic tracks became real. And well, look at Robert Plumley here. He's all over him heading through the S's here, Fizzy. Heading themselves through the notorious turn number 5. We've seen many instances already. And as I say that, round you go, Evan Imre. 90 degrees right. And well, head yourself round again. You have just lost yourself 5 seconds.
Oh man, these drivers just cannot catch a break on that turn 5. It's yeah, it's known as one of the most difficult corners we go through all season, to be honest. And it's living up to its reputation right now. Dometer is going to be helped by that, so I think Plumley had to back out a little bit when Imre spun in front of him. That's going to put Dometer right on the back, and he's going to have a lovely slipstream. All he needs to do is just keep that foot in. Plumley's not going to go defensive by the looks of it, so Dometer might just take that position unless Plumley wants to be brave around the outside, but no, he breaks quite early. Let's Dometer go, and maybe we will have to try and just keep up with him now until they come around to the straight on the next lap, and maybe have a go back.
Yes, Robert Plumley is a fighter when it comes to these leagues. It doesn't matter where he is, he will push for it. And you can see just how much he pushed 2 wheels there out on the grass on the exit of the final corner. But now, looking here, lap 29 of 44 here, Fredrik Johansson, the 888 machine, as he looks to try and close down on Knut Martinsen, I believe, up ahead of him at the moment. And well, Renault 2.0 actually up into your top 10 now. It just shows how much he has been working so hard to get through the field. And well, there you can see it, Liam Robinson right behind as well. So, 3-car train as we look here at Christian Takash. Get it horribly wrong as he goes 180, 360 there. Down at 10A10B, loses all that time. But now, Johansson to the outside here on Martinsen, going defensive there. And he's got his former teammate behind him as well. Bit of rivalry going on there for the most experienced driver in the league. The fan favourite, Knut Martinsen here. Down the inside into the chicane. And well, he's going to have to yield here to Fredrik Johansson once again, as Johansson gets it horribly wrong, and he'll get a 90-degree little twitch, and that will throw Liam Robinson through into that place of 12.
Wow, and Robinson nearly lost the car as well, down into the final corner there, with having just to slightly correct to avoid Johansson, who recovered from his spin. But it's still going to be a 3-way battle here, as we are now on to lap 33, pretty much well, 75% through the race, so everyone who completes this amount of the race will at least score half points, if they're classified within the points, of course. And through turn 5, these guys go now without any major mistakes. Johansson gaining a bit of time on Robinson, though. So this is going to be a close battle. Johansson maybe just showing himself in the mirrors there into turn 6. Not really the best play to overtake. And interestingly, Nienhuis retaking the fastest lap of the race from Kerry Norden, who had it previously. And Norden, of course, out of the race, so cannot respond to that. Nienhuis getting himself another point, but is still second behind Mner in the race, as we have 3 cars heading down towards the chicane.
Yes, we do. Line astern then, these 3 as well. Liam Robinson on his former teammate here. This could end hairy down at 10A, 10B, and down on the brakes they come along. And it's Liam Robinson who makes that one look very comfortable, very respectful there from Martinsen, giving room to his former teammate, letting him go. Very much so, and right now, Liam Robinson needing to push to break away at the moment, because Martinsen here, well, it could be a really poor result for him. Of course, he has had 1 instance so far this season. That was back at Zandvoort with these 2, so there is history behind them this season. So, they've got to be a little bit wary, a little bit careful now as they head themselves through turn number 3 and now 4. And now you hit this S section, down a hill, and then back up it again for the very difficult turn number 5. Of course, everyone tries to run that curb as much as they possibly can on exit. And well, it's all about that run out of turn number 7, Fisi. How on earth does Martinsen do it in order to get through, as we look at it here, around the outside possibly from Fredrik Johansson? No, not quite yet. No,
I think he just rode that curb on turn 5 a little bit too much, and it gets a bit out of shape as well. Not the best exit for him, to get my words a little bit mixed up, out of turn 7. So that's going to really put him under pressure. It's so, the best way to take turn 7 is just to have a quite wide entry and cut back, get early on the throttle, but Martinsen not able to do that, and it's going to be on the inside this time of Johansson. He got past there on the previous lap from Robinson. Johansson as well, getting his nose ahead before the braking zone, and that is going to be a job done for him, unless he loses it again up the hill. No, this time he's fine. So Martinsen dropping 2 positions. He displayed his 2 laps, a little bit disappointing for him. He was back in form a little bit in Monza last time, but this time it's not quite been the same.
No, it isn't. Lap 40 of 44, 5 to go then. And well, the leaders have seemingly kept their gap of 2 seconds here. Looking at Renault 2.0 here in the 129 Hydroforce racing machine, trying to chase down Evan Imre, the Scotsman there in the 999 machine here. This battle for 8th position on circuit at the moment, as Osterkamp tries to close right back in here on the Team Tortoise machine. Of course, Osterkamp fighting back from a spin on lap 1, which sent him back down the field to 30th. And this has been a stunning drive. My driver of the day, irrespective of team knowledge or not here. Looking at Bruno Domser here in 6th position at the moment as he gets that one a little bit wrong. And oh, he gets it very wrong. Into the barrier goes Bruno Dometer. That was not ideal. And he's thrown it with 5 to go, Fizzy. Not ideal for what is a very, very capable driver in this league.
And a very, very damaged car right now as he goes around again. He's lost his whole front end of the car. That's not going to do his grip levels and is there any good at all. He's might have to be forced to retire as Osterkamp there passes Mner for 7th position. So he's really working himself back in the race. Yeah, I think driver of the day, I would say, if you discount the first lap, after lap 1, he's definitely had the best drive out of everyone here today. As Robinson has been in the pits, that is a very interesting, very late pit stop from him. I wonder what the cause for that is. Maybe he misjudged his fuel or something, because I haven't seen him have an incident. So he's going to drop behind Johansson and Martinsen again as we see the race. Oh, second place, man! Getting very out of shape. Fantastic save there from Nienhaus to keep himself still in contention for the win. But Mner still a couple of seconds ahead.
Yeah, it's just starting to go away. He's trying to force the matter a little bit too much there, Nienhaus. You see 4 to go, getting a little bit desperate. He only has about 4 minutes left on the clock to try and chase him down. But Michael Mner, he has stayed incredibly consistent here as the Austrian for LM Rennsport. We know how good he was all the way back in Season 3, where he won the race at Brands Hatch in the famous Govan Gate incident. You've got to remember, of course, he had 2 wins last season in the Season 5 at the Pro Mazda, and he's looking to get his first win in the Formula Renault. Nienhaus, well, what could have been for him? He's still got a few laps to do it, but you can see that gap. That gap's increased to about 3 seconds, 3-4 seconds. I think Michael Mner is away barring a mistake at the moment, and that is not ideal here as we look at Christian Koch, Fizzy.
We do indeed. He's still running very silently in a 3rd position. It's been a super debut for the Austrian. It's a double Austrian on the podium as well, with Mner, the man in front of the pack. And yeah, just a fantastic debut. It's been, as you mentioned, with Jake Beckett before. It's a track of good debuts in the past as well. We got Nigel Spears in 14th at the moment. He's got Christoph Leister for company, just a second or so behind, but he's not going to be close enough to have any moves on this occasion, as the leaders have started the final lap here, Jake. So, do you think any final moves will happen there?
Oh, well, it's very difficult. You can see just how spread out everyone is. They can see Godin and Takash there. 4th and 5th there, struggling with damage. And here's Alexander Van Rompuy actually in 9th position on circuit. And you can see the car he's actually trying to chase down right now. That is the car of Evan Imre there in the distance, and that might just be one which we have to keep an eye on here. Here is Rene Osterkamp here in 7th position at the moment, and he gets a massive twitch actually down to chicane. And he's going to actually possibly lose a position here down into turn number 1. That is a completely uncharacteristic mistake so far out there. And you can see just how far ahead the leaders are. There is Nienhaus, there is Michael Mner in the distance here as they head themselves down the final straightaway for the final time. And well, for Gunnar Nienhaus, it's a case of what could have been. It could have been his 2nd win of the season, if I'm correct. But right now, Michael Mner, just 3 corners to go. For this Austrian, it will be 4 different race winners in 5. It will be Michael Mner who rounds the final corner and takes a well-deserved win for LM Rennsport and for himself. Fantastic result on his part there. Nienhaus will come across the line in 2nd position. What could have been? And well, what a fantastic race we have been there for. It's not over yet. Christian Koch coming through on his debut on the podium. Fantastic result there as we see Nigel Spears just beat out Christoph Leister for the line there, Fizzy.
Yeah, fantastic result from Mner. 4th different winner of the season, as you said, and what a way to do it. Mner's not been on the podium so far this year, this season, and it does it in style here. Solid pace and consistency. As we got a final lap battle there, actually. Imre on the inside of Van Rompuy is trying to take that 8th place position from him, and Imre loses it on the grass on the second part of the chicane. Big mistake. Imre's had such a solid race by his standards so far, but he's going to be very frustrated that he's lost that right at the end to Rompuy, and he drops down to 9th position. Also a good return then for Van Rompuy with a top 10 finish for him, as the final top 10 position goes to Fredrik Johansson in the other Team Totus.
Oh, what a mistake for Evan Imre on the final lap. He'll be kicking himself after that one. I am sure of that. Martinsen there coming across in 12th. He loses out to Patrick Kessler, the Swiss superstar there, finishing 11th place there for that number 70 machine. But there's your winner, Michael Mner. He has put himself in a position where it cannot be that close, really. But he just did the right thing at the right time. And we can bring you through now to your classified results. And Michael Mner will take a win by 2.3 seconds over Gunnar Nienhuis there. Christian Koch will finish off a podium on his opening race with Jean-Francois Godin's teammate behind by 25 seconds to the race leader. It's Christian Takash who will finish in 5th with a bonus point for pole position there. Robert Plumley, great result for him, 6th place, and that is a stunning result from a driver who doesn't normally get results like this. Osterkamp 7th, Alexander Van Rompuy on his return will get 8th. Imre 9th and will be joined by his teammate Fredrik Johansson, rounding out your top 10. Patrick Kessler there in 11th there with a clean race bonus point, a very rare occasion that you see here around Road Atlanta. There's Martinsen. Final cars on the lead lap in 12th just shows you just how quick Michael Mner was. There you can see Leanne Robinson 13th, Nigel Spears, Leicester there having a quiet race. Same for Lionel Alberto actually in that team one-line machine there. The Frenchman needing a little bit more of a result after that, but he will pick up some crucial points. Dominator 2 laps down, so is Satalamakia. Cars who failed to finish. Chris Robinson there with Tom Van Humen on this page, but looking on to page number 3, cars going out. Kerry Nolden, what a name that has gone out. Kager, James Goodall, Jamie Coldham, Andy Cowie, the championship leader, former, he goes out. Ben Scott, Richard Grimley, Jannik Nienhuis, Luke White, and the Flying Scotsman, Ty McLeod as well, fails to finish yet another race on his standards. Not ideal at all, but with that all said, let's go and see your race winner, Michael Mner, for the very first time this season in a driver interview. We're joined in the commentary box now by your race winner, Michael Mner. Michael, generally this race was a really difficult one in qualifying. We had many drivers once again finding themselves up close, old drivers, new drivers alike. Just for qualifying for you, you found yourself 3rd on the grid, 2nd row. Just how difficult is it now for you to be in a position where you can be at the top and be clear away from everyone when everyone's just up there fighting so tight?
Yeah, it adds a little bit pressure, I have to say. So starting from P3, it's nice, and you want to finish on the podium, of course. Yeah, and luckily this time it worked for me, and I was able to win the race.
Yes, of course. And well, looking up through your opening half of the race, it was a really interesting dynamic to see. Of course, Jean-Francois Godin involved in an incident alongside with the likes of Christian Takash and Gunnar Nienhuis around lap 5 or so into the race, so very early on. It caused a few drivers to have a few issues, and of course many drivers were having issues throughout the field. The likes of Andy Cowie, your teammate and former championship leader. You talk about the likes of Kerry Nolden being involved in incidents as well. Just how difficult is it to keep yourself on the island around a circuit like this?
Yeah, Road Atlanta, a track, it's so hard. I don't know if there's any other track where you have so much hard corners, especially turn 2, turn 5. It's extremely exhausting, 44 laps, and yeah, I'm really surprised that this time I didn't make any mistake. So that's really a big surprise for me.
Yes, and well, going into the next race of the season, round number 6 of the championship, we are hitting the halfway point now, and we'll be going to the Nürburgring, of course, a circuit very close to yourself living in Austria. And well, is it a circuit that you generally find that you are interested in? Is it a circuit that you click with, or is it a circuit where you're going to have to be learning intensively for the next week in order to try and get it sorted?
Honestly, I don't like the layout of the track. I don't like it. But yeah, sure, I want to finish in the top 5 again. That's always my goal, and that's the first time we race on Nürburgring in AOR. So hard to say what to expect, because it's a new track basically for everyone. And yeah, we will see. But my goal is to finish in the top 5, and when I can reach the podium, I'm very happy.
Yes, I hope you will be as well with this race victory today. Michael Mner then for LM Rennsport.
Thank you, Jake.
We're joined in the commentary box now by Gunnar Nienhuis. Gunnar, It was another difficult qualifying. Everyone was in tight again, and it just seems that you're not going to get this massive 2/10, 3/10 gap that you're normally going to see overall. But again, it's another front row for you. But how difficult is it to constantly get these front rows and just know that you're not getting the pole position all the time?
Well, the qualifyings are extremely close, so a few hundredths of a second can get you down 3 positions or up 3 positions. So it's basically a gamble to see where you're going to end. So a first row is fine for me. We saw in Monza that a first row or even a 12th place, if we look at Phil, can still get you on the podium. So I'm not too worried about it actually.
Yes, of course, and well, just looking at the start of the race, it was one where the top 5 managed to break away and everyone was going fine and what have you, until an incident early on about lap 4 or 5 where you saw the leaders, well, you yourself involved up in this incident, which managed to deal with a bit of damage for both Jean and for Christian as well, Christian Takash that is. So yeah, it's an awkward incident to say, but how did your first half of the race go for you?
The first half was pretty fine. I mean, that incident with Christian, he got on the brakes a bit earlier than I expected, and on this track, it's such a hard track, you can hardly see the apex, and you're just aiming for your braking point, and I was surprised by Christian braking a little bit earlier than I thought, and we had a slight contact, and while he was getting on the throttle, he spun, or he didn't really spun, but he lost a lot of time. So I'm sorry, Chris, about that. It was really unfortunate. I didn't see any incident with JF actually, so I'm not sure what happened with him.
Yes, and well, coming on to your second half of the race and with the pit stop window, it just didn't seem to work out for you in that respect. We had I believe you had a half spin going into turn number 3, or the S's section as it were, so just generally you were having to time trial your way through, and how difficult is it to try and race against Michael Mner when he's putting in the consistency in? And as a second question on top of that, where do you expect to be at the Nürburgring?
Well, again, this track is so hard. The line between a perfect lap and crashing out is so thin, so getting those perfect laps in lap after lap is very difficult. And I mean, the first race in AOR for me was this track as well, and I crashed out in lap 2, so I knew a crash was always luring, well, yeah, waiting for it to happen, and then I was surprised by a back marker coming out of the pits. It was not his fault. I took a completely different line. I made a full spin, actually hit someone else in the process, and was able to continue, but Michael didn't make any mistakes further down the road, and he was doing an excellent job, so he deserved the win more than I did.
Yes, of course. Thank you for joining us today, Gunnar. Second place finish for you once again here for the Carbon Racing team. We're joined in the commentary box now by our third place finisher, Christian Koch. Christian, qualifying again is really tough, and of course you are a new driver here to the league, so you find yourself in a position where you don't know how quick everyone else potentially is in this league, so you're just there trying to think about how quick that you can possibly go. How was qualifying for you?
Hi everyone. I'm normally I'm not a good qualifier, but well, new to the team. I tried my best to get on pace and tried a lot of setups and prepared as good as I could, but qualifying then really worked out quite well for me, so I was really happy to be under the top 5. Yeah.
Ah, yes, and just going through your race, you were playing a very lonely race in which you didn't really have too many battles with many drivers up and down the field, and you were just waiting for many drivers to start making mistakes up and down the field. Just generally for you, was it easy for you to pick up places here and there? Was it difficult to keep in the rhythm for keeping the car going?
Well, my impression was exactly the opposite, at least for the first half of the first stint, I would say, because it was my first start, and it was really intense for me because Jean-François got past me at the start. I had a really bad start, I would say. Lost the position to him, and tried to keep behind him. And there was a lot of pressure coming from, I think, Bruno Dometer, and a lot of fights. Actually, it was, for me, it was really intense. And I tried to keep up with the front, and as Jean-François has had his I don't know, his damage in lap 3 or something, he lost pace, and at first I thought, strange, I can keep up with him, but then Carrie Nolan, I think, came from the back, and I had to do something because I was keeping up to Jean-François. Carrie Nolan was getting closer to me, and well, that was quite an intense few laps. It was really risky, I would say, but it worked out quite fine.
Oh yes, and of course in your debut race you get a podium. That is something that we don't normally get to see in this sort of league. It puts you up with just a couple of the elite drivers, the likes of Rico Alatalo. Jake Beckett was another driver to do something exactly the same. The esteemed 3-time champion Justin Brunner. Just generally for you, it's the Nürburgring up next. It's your home race. Are you excited for this one? Are you going to be in a position where you are looking to challenge once again for the podium, and if not, your first race win?
First, it's not my home race because I'm Austrian.
Oh.
And yeah, no problem. But you could say it is kind of because we're at iRacing in the region club and fighting also in the World Cup together. But yeah, I like the Nürburgring, but I don't think it really fits me that well. I didn't drive a lot of races there. I think I can't remember of any. So yeah, well, I think it's depending on the time I can find for practice and on the mindset on the racing day, which was in Road Atlanta. It was I had a good feeling at the start. So
yes, thank you for joining us today, Christian Koch. Third place finish today for what will be the brand new Zephyr Racing team.
Thanks.
Just looking now at the Drivers' Championship, it is as close as you can possibly call it here, because the top 5 cars are split by 7 points. Jean-François Godin will retain the Drivers' Championship lead that he lost in round number 4. He will have a 1-point lead over Christian Takash and a further 3 points then to Gunnar in our second place finish. Michael Mner, the race winner here today, he will move up into 4th, and of course, there is René Osterkamp there on 99 points in 5th position. Andy Cowie will be ruining his chances. He drops himself down to 6th with Phil Reed and Kerry Nolan. Apture Motorsports not scoring any points here today, and that will dent them in not just the drivers, but the Constructors' Championships as well. Liam Robinson and Knut Martinsen, they find themselves 9th and 10th in the championship. And as you look further back down, Robert Plumley with a massive gain. He jumps up to 12th in the championship on 41 points, tied with Patrick Kessler. There you can see Evan Imre on 40 points there. Christian Koch, he jumps up to 16th already with just a 3rd place finish. Just shows how much 25 points can do for you. Keep scrolling back. There is Alexander Van Rompuy up to 22nd. And there is Lorenda Reich, who was not present here today. Simon Cleared having a poor showing of things once again. And looking here at this final page there, you can see Luke White still on 1 solitary point. 4 drivers still yet to score points. Senna Kokan, Ben Scott, James Goodall with another incident for him today, and Urka Lindstrom, the only Finnish driver in the league. As we look here at the constructors, and well, LM Rennsport start to walk away. Their lead in the championship moves up to, I believe, 59, 69, 79, 89, 42 points in the Constructors' Championship there, as I do some maths out loud. There's team players with their brand new team member. They jump themselves ahead of Hydra Force, their sister team, up into 3rd position at the moment. There you can see Red Devolution equal on points at the moment with Carbon Racing in 6th. Team Tortoise, good solid results for them. They'll be 7th, LM Racing 8th, Robinson Racing 9th, Force Fisi there will round out the top 10 in terms of the constructors. And well, looking back down, a few names that you wouldn't normally expect to see down there. Of course, Avicronic Racing, only one driver there at the moment. Of course, many drivers over the years have been at Avicronic, the likes of Gino van der Broek. Tyler McLeod actually for half a season found himself there as well. And of course, you look at Kinducci there having a solid result up into 11th in the constructors. But Fizzy, next time out, the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. Of course, remember the last time we were at the Nürburgring, we were at the Nordschleife, and that was where René Osterkamp picked his maiden win up. And well, as we say this is going to be one where anything could possibly happen in terms of racing.
Yeah, it's going to be a slightly calmer race potentially than the Nordschleife last season in the Star Masters, but the GP circuit as well, a very interesting one. Some unique challenges there for the drivers as well, and the first time we've been there in this league, and it's incredible what the championship is looking like right now. I'm really excited to see how that continues.
Yes, of course, and don't forget you can only catch us here on AOR Fisi's YouTube channel, and of course we are in a position where it is all going to be very tight. The halfway stage will be marked after this race, and then it will be the road to Interlagos. I've been Jake Sparey, I've been joined here by Fisi, and well, after all that's said and done, despite all the injuries there for Jean-Francois Godin, he will just cling on to his championship, but everyone is yapping at his heels trying to get a piece of the action. Good night.